So I've been on 7 planes in the last 10 days. And none of them fell out of the sky. Not a one. But if I only knew about planes from reading newspapers or watching the news, I would think the risk of falling out of the sky was actually very, very big. Whereas in fact, most planes do not fall out of the sky and it doesn't make the news. And difficult dying is a little bit like that. There are places, though, where it isn't like that. So this is a funeral shop in the Andes in northern Ecuador. This is a market town in Ecuador. It's not a touristy place. And it's one of 3 funeral shops in the street. And as you can see, you can have a big fancy coffin or you can have a much plainer coffin. You can have a large cross or a small cross. No cross, not an option in Ecuador, just so you know. The tiny little box at the top I thought might be for ashes, but actually it's for unborn babies who die in utero. And you can't be buried in Ecuador because it's all volcanic, so all of the graves are above ground and they're carefully tended, whitewashed several times a year. Families have picnics with their dead relatives out there. They know how to celebrate a life that was well lived. And they don't need to wonder what dying is like, because actually dying happens at home. Dying happens surrounded by the family, and people recognise the sequence of the deathbed. Now then, can you imagine seeing this on a high street in Auckland? Can you see what the shop is next door? It's a cafe, and it was doing a booming trade, and there was greengrocers next door. And in fact, I think the greengrocers and the funeral shop might have swapped premises, because there's an awful lot of vegetables around this funeral shop, aren't there? So I don't know, one of them was doing better trade than the others. We'll just have to work out which way that was going, won't we?